Today, we hear real stories of Americans facing massive rent hikes, eviction threats, and impossible housing choices. Welcome to The Real Economy.
They just slid this lease renewal paper in my door, and who finna pay $2,000 for a one-bedroom? This is not New York. Who finna move over here? The president? Why did my rent go from $1,700 to $2,000? That's a $300 jump. Y'all were out of your mind. I was gonna be okay if they went up a little 50, a little twanky panky. Y'all gonna go up $300? Who finna pay $2,000 for a one-bedroom? It ain't like the toilet got its own dookie room. It ain't like the shower head is on top of the shower. Ain't got no rainforest shower head or nothing. It's carpet. Carpet in my room. Carpet. Who finna pay that for one? I don't know where I'm going, but I know I gotta get the hell up out of here. $2,000 for a one-bedroom, 800 square feet, and then it's carpet in the room. I'm finna call them because I know this gotta be a mistake. I'm already paying $1,700. I'm already paying This gotta be a mistake. It has to be. They playing a joke on me. April Fools in September. I'm so pissed off. I'm stuttering.
How is America continuing to build all these ridiculous ass apartment complexes, but charging almost $3,000 for one bedroom? And who in the hell are affording to move into these ridiculously high, overpriced, expensive apartments? The national average salary is like $55,000, something like that. I'm not the best at math, but 56,000 divided by 12 is like $4,600 a month. That's like 75% of your check gone if you're paying $3,000 a month for an apartment. Not to mention you got food, you got electricity bill, you got car payment, car insurance, gas. You like to go shopping, get new clothes. God forbid you need a haircut every 2 weeks or you got to get your hair done. And God forbid you have fucking kids' mouths to feed. That's even double. The average income earner cannot afford these overpriced ass apartments. So who the fuck are they building these apartment complexes for? And what makes it even more hilarious, every single fucking year, these greedy ass landlords continue to increase the rent. So pretty soon, if you haven't already, we're going to be seeing $4,000, $5,000 a month apartment complex prices. And my question is, why do they keep getting away with this? How as we as a people have not gone up there with pitchforks, knives, and any type of weapon that we can find to put an end to this madness? We are literally allowing them to run our pockets fucking dry. What happened to America? We used to protest way back then. The minute taxes went over 2%. Now we are getting taxed damn near half, if not more than half our fucking money. Rent is out of control. Housing prices are out of control. Mortgage is out of control. Every single bill known to man is completely out of fucking control. And all we do is we go on TikTok, we bitch moan, we complain, and then the next day we get up, we go to work, and we pay that overpriced ass rent. Why as we as a people have not done anything about this? Because we have not revolted. Us not revolting means that these landlords will continue to increase the rent every single year. Us not revolting means that these developers will continue to buy up a whole bunch of land, knock down these trees, and build overpriced ass apartment complex on top of apartment complex on top of apartment complex. Us not revolting will lead to housing prices continuing to skyrocket, mortgage rates continuing to skyrocket, and everything else known to man to live continuing to skyrocket. As much as this problem is corporate greed, another half of this problem is us not fucking revolting and taking a stand against these corrupt, greedy motherfuckers. We, as a people, have allowed them to get away with so much shit, they have become borderline unstoppable. And it's sad to say, but I think there's no coming back from this.
So my apartment just sent the lease renewal, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that I would be ridiculous if I were to accept. Mind you, I live in a 400 and something square foot studio, right? It's nice, it's aesthetic. Some of you all said, lovely apartment. Thank you. It has one closet. There we go. But I just got the renewal. And reminder, I told you, around somewhere in the 400 square foot, right? They increased it $400. $400. The gym downstairs, there are, through all the 3 treadmills has something wrong, or 4 have something wrong with it. The entire time that I've lived here, one of them just broken the entire time. But I'm okay to, I can look past that. But $400 for 400 square feet, make you on the same page that I probably should renew my lease, right? I should start looking. I live in Boston, so you know it's already expensive, and I don't really want roommates, so that's just not gonna happen. My budget really is underneath 3K, like 3K and below. With this, it would be above 3K. It would be a few $100s above 3K. So just making sure that we're on the same page that I should not renew my lease, right? Yeah? Okay, so just wanted to check in with that. Put your comments down below. How are your renewal contracts looking like? Feasible? Impossible? Silly? Ridiculous? I just want to know, what's the temperature like? Because, do they not know this economy? I'm confused. My confusion is confusion. That's all. Let me get my moving boxes, because then we're not staying here.
Have you had your rent increase dramatically this year? Share your story below. Some states limit how much rent can legally increase. Know your tenant rights and check local laws.
So what's up, y'all? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about how these new apartment that they are building is income restriction, but the prices that they motherfucking charging you to move into these small ass motherfucking rooms built like a motherfucking box. Kitchen is in the living room and it's only an apartment, and they charging you all this money just to move in these income restricted apartment, not giving you no type of deal. You can't even fit a fucking dresser in the room. You only could fit a goddamn bed in the motherfucking room. I'm trying to figure out what have life came to. The prices they charging to rent out these apartments is crazy and fucking ridiculous. They charging house prices. What the fuck? Even these old apartments ain't giving you shit. They ain't giving you no new, they're not giving you new appliance. The only thing that they doing is putting down those gray tiles and painting the wall gray in the old apartment. But these new apartments that's income restriction, this $1,700 price, $1,600 price for a 3-bedroom, this is fucking ridiculous. Shit is becoming harder, okay? And it's not making no motherfucking sense to me. Like, how is it that the rooms in these new apartments built like a fucking box? You're not getting your fucking money worth. I don't give a fuck how new shit is in that apartment. Baby, you only getting like 900 square footage for a 3-bedroom. And they want you to pay $1,592, $1,672, $1,782. What type of prices is those? They talk about taking away fucking Section A from people, but then they got these based on income restriction. It's not based on income, but it's income restriction. Bitch, if it's income restriction, then I think the price should be good enough where a bitch can maintain living and taking care of kids, buying grocery. I'm tired of the fucking United States. I'm really getting tired of being over here. For real. I'm sick of the United States. For real. We are in slavery, baby. We are born to work to die, motherfucker. And shit ain't getting no easier. It's just getting fucking harder.
I am upset, okay? So I got home, got my mail, got my rent increase notice. Going up to $2,500. A single dad with 3 kids. $2,500. What are you going to do with this money? You've done nothing in 10 years. The bathroom heater still doesn't work. I asked multiple times for better insulation in the walls because the electric bill's insane. There's still a tree waiting to fall and kill us all. Nothing has been done to this house in 10 years. And I can't paint the walls. I can't do any of the regular maintenance because that violates the lease. But you're not doing it. My original goal when I moved into this house 10 years ago at $1,495, that's now going to be $2,500, was to buy my own house and get out from under this landlord crap. Instead, I've paid the enormity of somebody else's mortgage. I paid that. And they've done nothing. All that they did was have the down payment and the credit rating. That's all they did. They signed the papers. I moved into the house immediately. They've done nothing. I can't keep doing this alone. And apparently I can't seem to find the right thing to do it with someone. What is the answer? Should we just start robbing banks at random to pay landlords? This is stupid. This is why people are angry at the system. My landlord is not even like some equity company. It's some lady who decided to move to Costa Rica because, you know, she couldn't handle the fucking Republican government being Republicans, but she's so liberal, she squeezes her tenant every year. Squeezes. Fuck you.
Can we talk about how this rent is already trash for apartments? Okay, let's start there. Even with a 1-bedroom, like well over, like probably like $1,500. Rent is already trash, but they want to up the price each year. $50, even if it's like $50, and they try to make it seem like it's nothing. That's something, okay? That's something, especially on a monthly basis. Eggs is $10, okay? It's something in this economy, okay? People are living paycheck to paycheck. If you're not stinking rich, you're living paycheck to paycheck. So every little bit counts. So people are moving because of that. Because they want to find a place where they could be, have their head above water, okay? And because of that, we have no sense of community no more. Think about it. Like, for me, for example, I was at my apartment for a year, just a year, standard 12-month lease. The person my resident across from me, my neighbor, changed 3 times. No cap. 3 times. So it's like, dang, if I really wanted to get to know my fellow neighbor, I really can't because it's temporary. Because people are moving. I'm one of them. I'm one of them that moves. Like, I only had 2 other apartments before I move, whatever I go to. But I've been on my own for a little grip now to where I'm like, dang, like people like this is. I went to see Miss Mabel with her cat, smoking her cigarette, talking ish on the phone. I went to see Lacey that live on the back building with her 5 badass kids. I went to see Charles on the balcony cracking a beer open. I want to see that. I want to see the same people, even for the time that I'm there. The sense of community is gone because everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's stressed. Everybody's like I said, trying to survive. But the sense of community is dwindling. It's dwindling. If you haven't already established a house somewhere where you live there for a little grip and there's a tight-knit community, there's no sense of community. Back in the day, like I'm talking about before the recession, and where there's a cap on rent, where it's like standard rent every year, how long people are staying at their apartment building for years to years. It was a sense of community. Because everybody else was staying there. Like, once they found their place, they found their place. Like, that was it. That's gone. That's depressing. That's crazy. And amongst other things that make people not want to talk to their fellow neighbor, like have a lack of empathy, I think social media is a part of that. But the rent increase is a big part of that. I don't think people are talking about that enough.
If you were forced to move out tomorrow, where would you go? Always ask landlords about rent stabilization programs or subsidies. Many don't advertise them.
I just got told that my rent is going up by $100 a week. And I live alone, and it already went up by $50 with what feels like it was 6 months ago, but I checked, it wasn't. It was 12 months ago. And I basically have 2 weeks to figure out what I'm doing. And I just don't even know what to do. Like, obviously, everyone is going through this rental crisis at the moment, but I don't understand. I swear only a few months ago they were complaining about how there's too many apartments in Brisbane. But yet, why is there not one single fucking apartment for someone who just wants to live on their own and have a car park? Why is that so impossible? And like, I checked the average salary for Brisbane, and my salary is a little bit higher than that. And even I can't find somewhere that's going to be even slightly livable after paying tax and HECS. Anyway, just wanted to see how we're all doing, if anyone else is in the same boat, because I'm so angry. I've lived here for 2 years in this same apartment, and I love living here, and the thought of leaving is really depressing. So, cool.
Apartment?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any 2 bedrooms available.
Yes, ma'am. We have some ready for move-in as early as Monday.
All right, and how much do those go for?
$1,525 to $1,875.
How does it go from 1,500 to 1,800?
Depending on the phase that you apply for.
Okay, so like the older ones and the newer ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, now I know that it's raised for everyone, but that's ridiculous. That is way too much. And they're just raising the prices around here to get as much basic housing allowance from the military as possible, because we're right outside the base, and it only used to be 1,300 here. So why is it different now? People with money need more money, I guess. I guess that's what life is now. So I'm going to be looking for a new apartment soon. I'm already picking places where I want to live, and I'm going to have to get a different job. I'm going to have to uproot and just go, because it's too expensive here, and that's my plan.
The cost of everything has gone up a bajillion dollars, so let's open my lease renewal and see how much my rent is going to be next year. This will be my 4th year going into this apartment lease. When I first signed, my rent was $795. It then went up to $840, and then it went up to $860. $899. $900 a month, you guys. I need to find a rich man. That's all I'm saying, because $900 a month? A month? I'm just grateful I have an apartment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's tough out there, y'all. Stay safe, stay warm.
Yes, my daughter was telling me that the rent prices have gone up because she is moving into an apartment, and she was telling me the rent prices are through the roof. And when she gave me the prices for rent, I just couldn't believe it. She was telling me that the rent prices for like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, you're looking at maybe $1,500 or more. I just couldn't believe it, because I was telling her when I had an apartment, I had 1,800 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 full bath, and the rent was probably maybe $750, maybe $800 a month. She was like, Ma, that is not the rent prices no more. So then we get into an argument. We end up going back and forth about the cost for rent. She's like, Ma, rent is not $750 to $850 a month for rent anymore, and definitely not for no 1,800 square foot apartment. I'm like, okay, if that's what you say. So I priced some apartments. I went online to go call some places in the area to check prices for a 1 bedroom apartment, just in case I ended up needing somewhere to stay for maybe a week or 2. Maybe I was going to do maybe like a 3-month lease or a 6-month lease or something like that before transitioning to my new home, blah, blah. In calling to get the rent prices, Kayla knew what she was talking about. For a 1 bedroom, I spoke to a woman, and she was the leasing agent was telling me that the rent was going to be, it had tiers, depending on how long the lease was, whether you do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year. If you did a year lease, the rent was going to be like maybe $1,500.
If you did like a 9-month lease, it was going to be maybe like $1,700, and it continued to go up. The shorter the lease, the more it cost. We're talking about for a 1-bedroom, and she told me that the size was I think 650 square feet. I about collapsed. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Had no idea. So needless to say, I didn't do that option. I figured out how we can do a back-to-back closing on my house to go into this next house, and we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to stay for maybe a week with my eldest daughter at her place because she lives right next door to my job within a few miles. So that's that. Rents through the roof. I just had no idea that things had just gotten to be to this point.
Would you move to a different city if rent was half the price?
So on today's episode of Why Are They Charging That Much for Rent, my downstairs neighbor, okay, exact same floor plan that I have. I signed my lease in January, and I know there's going to be people that's like, that's cheap or that's expensive, but whatever. 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet. I pay $1,639 before they add stuff. But my base rent is $1,639. After everything, it's $1,715. That's what I pay every month. Okay, so $1,639. So my downstairs neighbors lived there for like 2 months and then moved out. I would love to know the tea on that. I would. And if you've been here since my Florida days, I'm not talking about the downstairs neighbors that called the cops. That's a whole separate story in a whole separate state. Okay, now we're in Texas. So anyways, downstairs neighbors move out. They moved out in Florida too, but also Texas. And I'm like, so I go on the website to see how much they're renting that apartment for. Keep in mind my $1,639. $2,247. I know every realtor's argument's going to be like, yeah, but it's the summer. It's the peak time to move. Is that not like a $600 increase in the last 5 months? I'm going to need to have like a chat with whoever signed that lease, genuinely. Because you're getting robbed. They haven't even moved in yet. I don't know if anyone has, but it was the only 2-bed, 2-bath apartment open for $2,247. And like, I've never been so happy I signed a 13-month lease so I could get a month free. At first I was like, damn, 13 months, it's so long. Maybe I should have signed a 6-month. Now I'm like, praise Jesus, the Lord heavens above, that I signed a 13-month lease. Because then I have another month to figure it out. Also, like, if you're broke, this happened on accident. Like, I didn't do it to save money, but if I needed to save money, this is what I do. Sign your leases starting in the winter. Literally sign your year leases in December, January, February, because no one wants to move then, so your stuff's a lot cheaper. They hike up the prices between like, I don't know, probably April for sure, May, June, July, August, to like September probably would be my guess. Peak times to move, it's warm outside, so move in the winter. Because then you won't be getting screwed by $600. I hope I did that math wrong. But I really don't think I did. They're going to get robbed. I paid $1,639. And that's their base rent, which means they still have like another $80 worth of stuff to pay.
So this month my rent went up, and obviously every year the rent goes up. We all know about the annual rent increase. However, this time is a little different because the increase was way more than it was before. And it's just frustrating because like, where do they expect us to just get this extra money from? And it's like every year my rent is going up, but I'm not seeing any improvements to my unit. I'm not getting new appliances. I'm not getting any sort of updates in my apartment. I mean, there's a laundry room in the basement of our apartment. I don't even see that being updated. None of the common areas are updated. And I think that's what frustrates me the most, is like not even reaping any sort of benefits from these increases. And because of the increase, I decided I wasn't signing another 12-month lease because the apartment is not worth the new price I'd be paying for it. I know I could find another apartment that's way less money, but like why? Why do these landlords feel the need to increase the rent and buy so much money? Like the small increases are not that big of a deal, but when the increase is like hundreds of dollars more, it's insane. Like how do they expect us to pay that? Where do they expect this extra money to come from? Like, are we just supposed to pull it out of thin air? Just make it magically appear, hundreds of extra dollars that we can put towards rent?
Our landlord wants us to move because he found somebody that's willing to pay $3,000 a month in rent. When we first moved here, our rent was $1,900, and there has been no updates to this house since we moved here. No new refrigerator, no new stove, nothing new to this house, but he can command $3,000 because of how the market is now. And so we're forced to move because he wants to get that for rent. Yes, and now we're trying to get into a market where all the rents have exploded, and it's because of what? Yeah, that's how my morning's going.
You know when you're just down really bad and then someone comes along and they're like, that's what my leasing office did today. My leasing office chose violence. I just got my lease renewal for next year. I live in Seaport in Boston, which is probably one of the nicest areas in Boston. I understand that. I live in a high rise. Yes, it's a luxury building, but it doesn't justify what they're asking for, in my opinion. I moved in 2021. It was $2,600. Still asinine. Ridiculous to pay that much amount of money for this tiny ass little studio apartment. 450 square feet. Okay. Next year that I met all my friends, they're all in the same building. I'm like, okay, $2,900. That's what they raised it to. I was like, I can do this. I'm going to start dog sitting. So that's what I did. And I did it. I paid for it. Was I pretty house poor? Yeah. But I was meeting a ton of people and I was having the time of my life. I've had the time of my life in this building. The next year rolls around, $3,100. I'm like, I feel like a massive moron if I pay this, but my friends are here. I'm going to keep doing it. Really, really stupid decision to do that. Anyways, they just brought me my new lease. They want $3,444 a month for my 450 square foot studio. I did a quick little girl math on this one, and that means that I would basically be paying to stay in a $120 a night hotel every single night for the next year. I love Boston, but it's not New York. Like, this is insane. I just got done crying to my parents all week about how lost I am. I don't know what to do with my life. I know exactly what I want in life, but I'm having a really hard time like figuring out how to get there. I don't know if I need to stay in Boston, move. I just can't do it anymore. I don't know what my next move is. I'm at this crossroads basically in my life where I'm like, do I move home and really try to help build out my parents' company that my brother works for? And it's like, it would be incredible to be back with them. Do I move to New York and try to get a job with a big brand? Do I move to Chicago or Charleston or Austin, much more affordable cities where I can afford to actually take a stab at still owning my own business and giving that a try? Boston's just cooking me. The darkness for 4 months of the year, but at the same time, I've never been more in love with a city in my life. Like, it's incredible. The summers make me never want to leave. Just at such a weird position in my life. I know I'm always so positive, but damn, 28's a weird age. And also the fact there's no jobs that will pay enough for like 28-year-olds to go live alone. Like, anyways, happy weekend.
For those of you who are itching to leave your mama house, this is not the economy, okay? And I'm gonna tell you because I have rent, right? I'm in Houston, Texas. It's $1,800 for a 2-bedroom. I do have a roommate because yeah. Anyways, we just got a renewal offer. Do you want to know what the renewal offer is? Let me remind you, currently pay $1,800. It really is about $2,000 when we come up to like the fees. Cause there's fees, y'all. The renewal for a 12-month lease is $2,516. And let's say we forgot to write the 60-day prior notice if we decide to leave, they will bring the rental rate to $2,939. Stay home, okay? Stay home, stack your coins.
Hot take, and I'm not judging because I literally was in this situation like a few months ago. I cannot fathom paying $1,000 a month to live with 3 other people. It literally bothers me that rent prices have gotten so insane that you're gonna pay $4,000 for a tiny ass unit. So like, for example, the situation I was in was I graduated college, I got a full-time job. It was downtown, and so there wasn't a lot of options, and I couldn't afford to live by myself. So I had to live with like 3 other college students. I paid $1,000 to live with 3 girls. Keep in mind, our unit was tiny. I could not fit like literally anything in my room. I was like crammed. I've learned like how to be a minimalist now because like I had no room in that apartment. My walking pad was like literally right next to my bed. Like there was no privacy. But I'm just not understanding like how people are graduating college and like moving out on their own, trying to be independent, trying to like stream away from their parents, and you're gonna tell me that it costs $1,000 to live with 3 other people. So obviously, if I didn't live with 3 other people, I'd be paying $2,000 in rent. $2,000. Keep in mind that that doesn't include any other bill you have, on top of the fact that that is literally like half of what you make. The math like doesn't make sense in my brain. And the fact that now I live in a lot less busy area and the rent is still expensive as fuck. I don't live anywhere near where I go to school. I drive there every day and the rent is still fucking ass crack expensive. When I moved into this apartment, we didn't even have a washer and dryer. Like, what do you mean? Like, and this is not me being a brat, like, get fucking better rent prices. No wonder people are living in their parents' basement. Like, this is why. Oh, not to mention I had 2 sources of income too.
Thanks for watching The Real Economy. If you're facing rent struggles, check the free resources link below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories.